I have a question for you. Why are you here tonight? Now we'll leave that question. My mind tends to go in multiple directions. This morning, I woke up and I said, Stace, we should go for a walk. She said, that sounds great, but I think it's cold. You might want to check the weather. Then I looked at the weather and it said, weather, 41 degrees. Feels like 41 degrees. And I said, that is cold. She said, that is right. We did not go for a walk outside. But when you look outside and it's cold, or it's raining, or it's snowing, or it's sleeting, or it's just plain nasty, but you know you've got to go out anyway. You've got to be out in the weather for a while to do whatever you need to do. What do? Well, most of us, if we're smart, we put on a coat. Now, I put on that coat because the weather is just nasty outside. But does the coat change the weather of the day? No. The coat doesn't change anything about the weather at all. But what does the coat do? Well, the coat changes you. The coat changes me in the weather. It changes how the weather affects you. In Isaiah chapter 61, now this is a verse that Jesus quoted in Luke chapter 4 as well. And in Luke chapter 4, he tells them, this is talking about me. They weren't real happy about it, but that's what he said. He said, this verse in Isaiah talks about me. And this is what he said. In Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1, it says, and the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings to the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim victory to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. And then in verse 3, it says, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and this is the part I want you to notice, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. And I'll go back to that part. Is where it says, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Said a different way, the coat of praise when dealing with heaviness. So when I ask you why you're here tonight, well, let me tell you why you're here tonight. Because worship is the way that we clothe ourselves in a discouraging world. Worship is the way that we change our focus and push aside the things that are worrying us, the things that are discouraging us, the things that are downright crushing us at times. Worship brings Jesus back to the throne of our heart. Because when things around us, when the weather around us pushes on us and we say, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I don't know if I can make it through this. I'm discouraged with things that are going on with my health, things that are going on with people around us. I see trouble within the church. There are doctrines being taught. There are things just crashing down upon us. Oftentimes we let those things unintentionally push Jesus off the throne of our hearts. And we begin to worry so much about those things that it doesn't allow us to act like the Christians that we should. But worship removes the distress. Worship removes the anxiety, removes the things that place themselves on my heart rather than who should be there, Jesus. Worship reminds us that Jesus is King. Always has been King. Always will be King. Worship reminds us that he is more powerful than anything that we'll face. That we can look to him and say, I believe that you are sovereignly in control of all of this. I may not know how it's going to work out. I may not know why it's happening the way, but I know that as I worship Him, put on that coat of praise, and the very same conditions and circumstances that were crushing me yesterday, today I can thrive in. But that coat of worship, that protection that comes with that, can only be available to those that have opened their hearts to Jesus and put Him on in baptism. That's the only way that we can truly participate in our worship. As I tell my kids, the world is sometimes a mean and nasty place, and it will knock you down to your knees and keep you there if you let it. But if we put on that coat of worship and let God help us through it, there's nothing too challenging for us. If we can help you in any way, please come forward as we stand and sing. For my spirit, Lord.